Hello, man of culture. Kuro's Department of Gynecology is always coming out with new research papers. And today, I'm bringing you their latest findings. My name is GHP, and I'm the official lead researcher behind this study, specifically about Iuno and her feet. Now, the real question is, do they grip? And do they grip too much or too little? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's open up Blender and verify this information for ourselves. And there we go, guys. We have her here right in front of us, so we can finally take a look at our actual model here. Okay, so for starters, let's right away show her measurements. Gotta measure her. So let's go to our lowest point until our highest point, which is around here. Doesn't need to be like 100% accurate, but just to give us a general idea, right? So 1.6 meters, as you can see, that's our measure. Is the line straight? Looks pretty good to me. So it's somewhat accurate right now. And the other measure we need is actually our feet. So let us into it. We gotta have I prefer this side, and we gotta measure her from her kind of here, so our furthest point to her most. All right, so around here. And now we gotta measure this side. We gotta measure this side, and the biggest distance is probably around here. A very precise measures, of course. Right. Yeah, actually, I could use the. No, this is more accurate. This is more accurate. We're focused again, and right now I just set up the light for us to see a preview of the render. You guys can see it because I hid it to not affect our visualization character. And so let's switch to render mode. And as you can see her in a better, more realistic lighting, right? An interesting thing that I noticed, at least I think it's like this, is that her shadow was actually drawn onto the eye. It was definitely drawn under the eye. So yeah, it's an interesting thing. So here's our top view. The top view, by the way. Keep posing, of course. And now let's show kind of our feet to have a better lighting. And I already went ahead and separated their shoes, as you can see here, separated, so we can go ahead and hide them. And oh yeah, those definitely grip, guys, definitely do. We can see ornaments, her nails, her tacet mark, very cool. And these are solid. See that there's a lot of care into this, a lot of polygons. So yeah, Kuro definitely spent a lot of time doing this character. She has a lot of polygons on her face. You can see it looks kind of creepy, bro. At her eyes, very nice. Her chest also has a lot of polygons, to be honest. Ornaments, a bit more simple. Yeah, she's more important than her object. And yeah, right, so you can also see here her feet ring, also pretty beautiful. And yeah, now I'm just going to test something. So yeah, let's go in 3, 2, 1.
Yep.
Yeah. That's disappointing. But oh shit, we can't have everything, right? Can't have everything. Kuro gave us this model for free. So yeah, we can't have everything, guys. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Maybe one day in the future. But hey, right now, let's actually move on to the calculations with the measures that we took before. Alright, so now that we have the measurements, it's time to move on to the actual research paper. According to Kuro's Department of Gynecology, we can actually estimate how much sweat Iuno produces using a real mathematical formula that yours truly developed. I gotta say, the results are pretty surprising. So from our Blender analysis, we got her height 1.6 meters, but without the shoes, she's actually 1.5 meters. Yeah, which is, for me, it's great because you might like tall woman, but yeah, I don't, so it's what it is. But now we got also our foot surface area. We got the raw values in meters, but if we convert it to centimeters and multiply both values, we get a foot surface area at around 125.035467564 squared centimeters. And with all that information, but also having in mind the temperature on Septemont that is based on Italy, and Italy on summer, since that's the climate that seems to be in game, the temperature on Italy is around 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. So since the Septemont seems like a dry region but not desert dry region, I'm gonna give it around 32 degrees Celsius in the summer, right? And now with only this information, we can move on to the actual formula. And the formula basically works like this. We start with the base sweat production, we multiply by 2 for 2 feet, adjust it based on the foot surface area, and finally we adjust it based on temperature, which gives us this. S is sweat, A is foot surface area, T is temperature, of course, and then we have two different versions of the same formula, from when Iuno is in rest or in physical activity. But since I'm also interested in our sweat production per day, for science of course, we can just multiply the hourly production by 24 hours, right? So if we put everything on the spreadsheet that I set up, we get 30.2 millimeters of sweat production hourly while resting, and while in activity we get 83.2 millimeters of sweat production. Now if we multiply by 24, in rest we get 748.8 millimeters of sweat production, and while in physical activity we get a whopping 1996.8 sweat production in 24 hours while doing physical activity. So as you can see, pretty surprising values, and I think those dogs definitely grip. Now earlier we did take some very important measurements, remember those? And that gave me the idea we should also measure our cup size. Now unfortunately we don't have an actual way to get those specific measures. However, there were some other papers with Iuno made by scientists of the department, and we can take our estimate thanks to those players. So Iuno approximately has 100.99 centimeters of upper bust and 69 centimeters of lower bust. So if we actually take those numbers, we get a difference between upper and lower bust to 31.99 centimeters. And with that, we get a cup size of 70J size. So yeah, as we all knew this, she has a pretty decent chest. Just adding another reason to why I love her. Unfortunately, this is all I have for you today, but I will work with Kuro's department of Gunology to make sure I can bring you in more researches. And I already have in mind one of the next ones. If you share this video and to reach a certain view goal I defined, I will make a Cantarella study. And in the future, we might also make a Iyuki study. So if you are interested, I advise you to leave a like, subscribe, and share the content so we can reach those views. And if you want to get closer to me and my community, please join our Discord server. We are daily active. So with that, see you on the next one.